Oh, what are the top 10 cards from Age of Overlord? You guys smash the crap out of that subscribe button so you guys don't miss out on more awesome content. Check out our friends at Kong's Cards. Use discount code MCO40 and get the chance to save on your purchase. So Angel's Ring is where we're going to be starting off here. And, you know, this thing is going to be fantastic. This card's going to annoy a lot of people. But you can only equip to a monster you control that is equipped with an equipped spell. You can only control one Angel Ring once per turn. And then you can negate the effect, or you actually do negate the effect, of the first spell card your opponent plays each turn. Or effect, by the way. That's actually relevant. And then, while this card is equipped to a monster, you can gain 500 life points, destroy this card, and then apply the following effect. While that monster card, this card was equipped to, is face up in the monster zone, your opponent cannot target it with card effects. Now, hear me out for a second here. This just screams absurd. A lot of people are very excited to be getting Angel Ring because all the Infernoble players are having a party right now because you can go ahead and extend this on out at the end of the turn via the equips, and your opponent's going to be like, oh, well, that's fantastic. Next up is Burlet, the Phantom King Beast. Dark Rule. I'll be honest with you, I didn't really consider what else to put in the top 10. It was just like Angel Ring and like a bunch of other good cards, but I figured I'd go ahead and put this in here because I know all the illusion players are going to be like, Robbie, where is it? So it's 2 Beast Fiend and or illusion monsters to make it. It becomes Chimera while on the field or in the graveyard, standard effect, but is still treated as a Phantom Beast card. Blah, blah, blah. You can only use each of the following effects of this card once per turn. So if this card is Fusion Summon, you can send a Beast Fiend or an illusion monster from your deck to the graveyard. And during your opponent's turn, quick effect and damage this card, target one of your banished Beast Fiend and or illusion monsters, except for this, and special summon it. You know, in terms of what this card does, it's additional dump fodder / interaction points for this. I think this card is going to be very solid for illusion decks. A lot of players, trust me, a lot of players are going to love this. Next up is Gan Long. Oh, baby. This is the broken support that we got. But if you reveal a card or cards in your hand to activate a Vanquish Soul effect, you can special summon this card from your hand. Okay, so as long as something's revealed, I get to beam this guy on out for free. And then I can activate each of the following effects once per turn. So if I reveal a fire, I can change the battle position of one monster on the field. Or if I reveal fire and fire, I can add a Vanquish Soul card from my deck to my hand. And I can only use each effect of Gan Long once per turn, and I cannot do more than one of them per chain. I get a battle position change, and to top things off, if I reveal fire, I go search for any Vanquish Soul. Like, hello? Like, that card's good. There's a reason why you've been seeing the Vanquish Soul side of things evolving, with, especially with a card like this. This adds so much to the deck. I think a lot of people are going to be like, oh, you know, this is terrible. No, it's really good. Next up is Exceed the Pendulum. Now, obviously, Gan Long might be a little bit better of a card, but Pendulum players deserve this. Remember, this is your Link 3 that's 2+ effect monsters, including a Pendulum. It gains attack points equal for each Pendulum monster you control, which, I mean, it's not a lot for the 100 boost, but it's something. And then on Link Summon, you can add a face-up Pendulum monster from your extra deck to your hand. During the main phase, you can special summon a monster from your hand or graveyard in defense position. One Pendulum monster with level between the Pendulum scales of the 2 in your Pendulum zone. So that's a free extender, right? That just lets me roll out Appaloosa. Like, that's the main reason why we play this card, right? It's another stepping stone. It recurs something back to your hand, and then I can basically make the process much easier to getting to the fabled Link 4. Yeah, that's effectively what it's used for. You gotta love stepping stones. That's usually what these cards are for. Next up is Iris, the Labyrinth Butler. Now, I think this card is crazy because of the potential that it has. Problem was, the OCG taught us that the card's good, but in their environment, they were just kind of kicking around. Now, the TCG's been like, ooh, turn 0 plays. This pleases me. To be honest with you, I think this card has some of the craziest potential in the set. Now, whether or not that potential can actually be realized is another story, but I mean, just simply setting a normal trap, it can be activated that turn. The card's really, really cool. All right, but once again, in terms of your absolute competitive, you know, crazy scare, yeah, the scary part is the card exists, and there is like a list of like 20 different traps. I guess I'll upload that video at some point. The craziest interactions that we can have with Ireus turn 1 of the game, or rather turn 0 of the game. It's pretty good. Next up is the Metagame Tier Elements little Triskaluda. Remember, it's 1 tuner plus 1 or more non-tuner to make it. On Synchro Summon, you can target a level 2 tuner in your graveyard, special summon it, but its effects are negated. Yeah, trust me, this thing typically makes Vice a Samsara like it's its job. And you can target any number of your tuners, they become level 2, and then you get locked into Synchros for the rest of the turn. You know, I don't really care about the level modification effect all that much. I care that I can make a level 6 that revives something from the graveyard. It only matters if I'm doing the level modification effect for the locking, but that's fine. I don't see a problem with that at the end of the day. You know what I mean? Like, all the value that you have going for the card, it's one more piece of candy for the ever-relevant Metagame strategy, aka I'm going to Calamities Turbo you into the ground, alright? And then we have Mseti, basically the entire Horus Squad at this point. Level 8 Turbo Toolbox. You know, you opened up a terrible hand, but you have the Pharaonic Sarcophagus, go trash all that. Congratulations. Now we're playing a Horus deck. Basically, the advantage package that you are getting by this tier, so many people are excited because they're like, oh, I can play this in tier. Like, this is going to be amazing. Trust me, all of these different variations of tier that are going to be playing the Sarcophagus, Mseti, all of these cards, mark my words, Robbie, it's coming. I mean, sure, it's unique in the aspect of what it brings to the table, sure, but it's just that at the end of the day. You know, it's nothing really too crazy. So that's something you got to kind of keep in mind here when you're looking at this is, you know, your ceiling potential is there. It just kind of depends on, you know, how the rest of the deck wants to flow out. You know what I mean? You gotta consider those play lines. And then we have Doomsday Star, the Dark Witch, aka, oh boy, Rescue Ace support. You know how many people are crazily excited for this one? Just the fact that you can pull any level 1 fire monster out of anywhere, and then you can look at your opponent and go, yeah, that's right, I got full Hydrant Turbulence combo. Buckle up, buckaroo, as you're crashing through your opponent's deck. Yeah, that's what the package gives you. The Sinful Spoil searches for it, gives you a draw card. You Doomsday Star send, search for, you know, the one that rotates the fire. You set it, yes, it can be activated that turn because it's still a normal spell card. Not many people don't actually know that, but there's a lot to take in with that. I will be completely honest with you here. I think the Doomsday Star package is one of the craziest things in this set, strictly because Fire is eating so good, and Rescue Ace just becomes an even crazier deck because of this. Alright, so we'll have to wait and see where it goes. I think a lot of people are going to be excited. And then we have Doomsday Star. Typhon. This is the anti-Zeus card, as many of us have called it. And basically, if your opponent special summon 2 or more monsters from the extra deck during this turn or the previous turn, you can exceed summon this using 1 monster you control that has the highest attack. So basically, if your opponent burns you through full combo, and you can just, you know, oh, you're left with a Sunseed Loki after they negated you, it's the only monster you have, go ahead and slap this on top of that Loki. You get locked out of not being able to do anything for the rest of the turn. But if your opponent cannot you cannot special summon monsters for the rest of this turn, blah, blah, blah. Neither player can activate the effects of monsters with 3,000 or more attack, and then once per turn, detach a material from this card, and then return 1 monster on the field back to hand. It's a 2,900. Card is actually pretty thick. I think a lot of people underestimate the power that you get with Doomsday Star, but it's one of those cards that, trust me, you're going to be happy to have it as an extra deck out. And then the best card in the set, in terms of meta, is SP Little Knight. It's 2 effect monsters on Link Summon using a Fusion Synchro, Exceed, or a Link monster. You can target 1 card on the field and or in the graveyard, banish it, that's automatic. And then, yeah, you can't attack directly the turn you activate that effect. And then your quick effect, you can target 1 card on both sides of the field and banish them, basically, until the end phase. Which, I mean, hey, you know what? This card can go ahead and warp itself out. You know, those are your top meta contenders out of this set. There are a lot of crazy things that Age of Overlord brings to the table. I didn't even get to mention, honestly, the Tessina cards. They were honestly up there in terms of meta change. And that's interesting. So please leave a comment down below. Tell me what you guys think. I'll see your beautiful faces back here later in the day, guys. Peace out. patrons. Thank you.
Thank you so much for watching. Check out these other videos.